Oh my gosh, I'm actually getting on this 2 videos in a week thing. Hey friends, my name is Gabrielle. Welcome to Miss Reads, and I have another wrap-up video for you. I am catching up on all my wrap-up videos. This is the Pokemon Go Read-Them-All-a-thon that I was taking part in. I keep saying it's the Pokemon Go. That's not true. I have Pokemon Go on my brain, and I just have been obsessed ever since it came out. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the books that I read this past week. Storm Dancer by Jay Kristoff, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, The Opposite of Loneliness by Marina Keegan, Blues for Nightmare by Laurie Stollarts, Finding London by Ellie Wade, and A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. The best book that I read this week is Storm Dancers by Jay Kristoff. I love Jay Kristoff. I love his Illuminae book, and I'm really glad that I read something else by him so that I'm not only basing my opinion on Illuminae. It's a steampunk Japanese dystopian novel where a girl named Yukiko is stranded in the middle of the forest after accompanying her hunting party on this search for a griffin, which the emperor sent them after. It turns out that she has this gift for talking to animals, and so she is able to communicate with the griffin. Kind of reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon, except for a steampunk version. Honestly, I can't wait to read the next book in this series. The next book that I was actually surprised that I liked was Finding London by Ellie Wade. It's a romance novel. I actually talked about it already, so I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. Basically, this girl London and this boy Loke, they meet, they hate each other, and then they end up falling in love. So, you know, I actually have a huge weakness for those kind of stories, so I guess it's not that surprising that I liked it. It's really a realistic romance, so I thought that was refreshing because so many romances are just about they meet, they fall in love, and everything's perfect. This was exactly the opposite of that, so I really liked how it was a more realistic aspect on relationships. I definitely would love to check out the second book in the series, and you guys should check out my first review that I did of this. Okay, I did have one book that I didn't like this week, which surprisingly enough was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I didn't not like it, but I wasn't blown away by it. I feel like it was just very it was hyped up too much for me. I kept expecting more to happen. Like, it sounded like it would be so dangerous, so I guess I had kind of a more of an undercover, constantly on the run kind of thing pictured in my head, and then when I read it, it wasn't as much of that as I thought. I guess it's turning into a movie, so I will be checking out the movie if that ever comes out. I'm going to talk about A Court of Thorns and Roses for a minute. For some reason, could not start this book at all. I thought that I would hate it. I just thought that I could not stand this book. And then I read it, and it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. I'd heard so many negative things about it, and then I've heard so many great things about it. I enjoyed the book, but it wasn't the best book I've ever read. This plot was basically this girl, Fair, is traded to this fairy because she ends up breaking a law that the humans and fairies have established. She has to spend the rest of her life living with the fairy. It's basically a fairy retelling of Beauty and the Beast. The plot was very slow for me at first. It started picking up towards the end, which I can't tell you guys about because it'll be so spoilery, but I thought it was okay. Like, I wasn't as terrible. Will I read the second one? Probably, because it's actually kind of interesting to me, and I am kind of glad that I read it because while it's not something I'm super blown away with like Jay Kristoff and Storm Dancer, it's not something I'm completely disappointed in either. Yeah, I will forestall all other opinions of this book until after I read the second book, and you can expect a review on both of these. As for my reviews, I have 3 planned, and they're all gonna come out hopefully within the next couple days. One is a 2-part. It's gonna be book 1 and 2 of a series called Curse of the Sphinx by Ray Wagner. I was sent those books to review, and I was supposed to review them like 2 weeks ago, and I'm so upset because this was during the time where I had my camera and my computer problems, so I could do nothing. Like, I barely was able to scrape by for the booktube hunt because I had nothing to edit with, nothing to record with other than my phone, and it was, oh my gosh, it was terrible. But now that I have all my stuff back, I'm really hoping I can record these videos. And I have a confession, guys. I am so sad. This is literally the most heartbreaking thing ever. I have not been reading a book a day lately. As for this past, after the Pokemon Go Readathon, the only book that I have read that I remember, I think I've read another book, but the only book in arm's distance is Helter Skelter, which is about the Manson murders, which is really good. I love murder mystery, but that's not the point here. The point is, I have 3 jobs right now, technically. I have 2 speech therapy jobs and 1 part-time job, and I read at my part-time job sometimes when it's slow and when I don't have anything to do, but I have fallen behind, and I usually can catch up by the end of the week. Usually if I don't read a book a day, I can at least finish 7 books that week. This has not been happening because my new job that I started for one of my speech therapy jobs, it is a lot more work than I expected, so I am so sad to say that after 9 months. I broke my record and I want to pick it back up again. I really do, but I don't think I'll be able to start until October. My goal is to still somehow read 365 books. I have no idea if I'll actually be able to accomplish that. So with that being said, I had to come clean and admit it to you guys. I fell behind and I couldn't catch up because I was working so much. Hopefully you guys aren't disappointed. I know I am a little bit. I wanted to try and really do it this entire year and I was doing so well until I started working. I will be wrapping up probably one more time, just the last couple books that I read. There will probably be a book unhaul coming soon because I have so many books that I don't read and I don't have room for. But yeah, so on that rather sad note, I'm sorry, that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching this and I am so excited. I hit a year on booktube and I totally missed it and now I need to celebrate it somehow. So if you have any ideas for how I should do that, let me know in the comments below. If you guys haven't seen my last video, then make sure you stick around. It will be playing right after this. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, then you should, because now I have all my technology back and I can upload booktube videos twice a week. But that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you so much for watching and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye. Guess what I'm not recording on today? I found my camera!